Hello there, my name is Hido and welcome to the Pantheon, where today we've entered into the festive season. Or at least, you know, for all the ghouls and horrible things of Innistrad. It's Halloween, or at least the month of. So we've got a nice new Mickey hat, which I'm going to take off now, I'm bored of that. But without further ado, let's dive into, you know, the protector of the humans in this Innistrad world. It's Katilda. Katilda Bagshot from Harry Potter. Dawnhart Prime. 2 mana for a 1/1 human warlock. Protection from werewolves, so it can't be targeted, enchanted, dealt damage by and destroyed, I think is the last one, by werewolves. And human creature control have tap, add 1 mana of any of this creature's colours. Good God, that was hard to get out. So this is actually a nice little mana dot because it's all humans, so this taps for mana as well. And then we've got pay 6, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, not just humans, every creature. So that's a really nice ability. We saw it on a land ages and ages ago back in the original Innistrad. So quite a cool commander, and there's a couple of different directions to go with this, a couple of different things you can build into it. And you know, I like it quite a bit. So without further ado, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be making videos like this for every single legendary creature, and this is just one of many legendary creatures. So come and join me on the journey. But without further ado, let's have a look at Katilda's top 5. And in at number 5, well, what do we have? We've got Giant Killer. And all of these are humans that can come down early, and because the humans, our commander will allow them to tap for mana. So these are all mana dogs that have other utility. Giant Killer is a 1 mana 1/2 human peasant. Peasantry, destroy them. But pay 2 and tap target creature. So that's a nice ability. If we're not tapping for mana, we can use that to sort of lock down a big attacker before it gets in there, you know. Blightsteel Colossus, so, you know, that sort of massive threat. However, you can also cast this as an instant, chop down for 3 mana. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. So in this card, for 1 mana, or 3 mana for a chop down, we're getting 3 possible uses. It's a mana dot with our commander on the field, it's a tapper to keep something locked down, and then, if we draw it late game, it's a great removal spell for any of those big creatures or big threats. So this card just does so much with this commander. Then there's Mother of Runes, an excellent protection piece. 1 white for a human cleric. 1/1. Tap. Target creature you control gains protection from the colour of your choice until end of turn. So that's fantastic for, you know, getting in there with lots of damage, blocking a big threat. But this is also a 1 mana dog when we need it with our commander on the field. Then there's Magus of the Vineyard, a real big mana accelerator. 1 green for a 1/1 human wizard. At the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, add double green to that player's mana pool. So yes, we are helping our opponents out, but this is a mana dork that can also create mana for us. So in essence, we're getting 3 mana out of this because we tap it. And then our commander's ability, 6 mana is quite a lot, but we're going to be able to use it quite frequently with all of these little mana dorks that we've got. And because we've got lots of bodies on the field, we're going to get lots of 1/1 counters. The Dauntless Bodyguard is a 1 mana 2/1 human knight. When it enters the battlefield, choose another creature you control. So I'm probably going to be choosing my commander with this, you know, and then sacrifice it. The chosen creature gains indestructible until end of turn. So a mana dog that protects our commander. Really, really nice. Or whatever big sort of threat we've invested in. Then Kythian, Hero of Akrois, is a 1 mana 2/1 human soldier. At the end of combat, if it and at least 2 other creatures attack this combat, exile Kythian and return to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Then you can pay 3 mana to give it indestructible. And the really nice thing is, the mana dog, we're going to have a lot of small bodies in this deck, you know, spoilers. That's a big theme of this deck because I really want to spread those counters out as much as possible. So we're going to be able to attack in and flip it into Gideon Battle Forged. 3 loyalty planeswalker plus 2, up to 1 target creature an opponent controls attacks Gideon Battle Forged during its control's next turn, if able. So this is really nice because we can use this as removal, you know. We can make our commander indestructible, or, you know, just build up a big board, choose their commander, right, attack in, we're going to block it, kill it, and then we get to choose how the damage is dealt. +1 until your next turn, target creature gains indestructible, untap that creature, and untapping our creatures is fantastic because Yes, we can use them to make mana with our commander's ability, but if we untap our commander, well, we can use her again and make lots more counters. So there's lots of use in that ability, and Indestructible goes a long way. Until end of turn, it becomes a 4/4 human soldier creature with Indestructible that's still Planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. So, you know, a nice aggressive 4/4 body. And it's also a human that's fits in with all the human sort of synergies. So you could tap your Planeswalker for mana. Whew, there we go. Esper Sentinel, 1 white for a 1/1 human soldier. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless that player pays X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power. So early game, this is absolutely incredible. It's going to be a mana dork, which is also drawing you cards, which is pretty goddamn good. But late game, because we're going to be building up its power, our opponents won't be able to pay the X. So, you know, if I do a 4/4, are you going to be paying 4 mana for those spells? Probably not, and we're going to draw a ton of cards, which who would have thought white would ever be doing that? But that brings me on to number 4. And in number 4, well, we've got some humans, you know, little humans on the field. Let's make more in terms of tokens, because tokens also get the ability to tap for mana. And if we're spreading out with all these tokens, that's more creatures that'll be hit by our commander's ability and get all of those 1/1 counters. Elspeth, 4 mana for a 5 loyalty planeswalker, -1. Up to 2 target creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Nice little buff, you know, maybe put it on your commander, swinging for lethal damage. Then -2, create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. So that's 2 good chump blockers for this, but also essentially buying us back 2 mana. And we can do this twice because it comes in with 5 loyalty. Then -3, you gain 5 life. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Finally, there's Escape, so you can cast this from your graveyard by paying 6 mana and exile 4 cards, other cards from your graveyard. And then you cast it, it comes back in 4 loyalty. We can get more dudes. We can just keep churning them out. It's a really, really cool card. It's a unique card as well. I like this sort of design. Then we've got Harmonious Archon, 6 mana for a 4/5, and it's got flying. Non-Archon creatures have base power and toughness. 3/3. So all of our humans are going to be a bit bigger, and the main way that we're buffing up our creatures is 1/1 counters. So even though they become 3/3s, they keep the 1/1 counters. That goes on top of their base power and toughness. As you know, most of these are 1/1s and things like that. And then when it enters the battlefield, creates 2 1/1 white human creature tokens. Hooray! Couple of mana dorks. And with all these mana dorks that we're making, getting to 6 mana is pretty goddamn easy. Then we've got Magia, Bretagard Protector. 5 mana, 2/3. Other creatures you control get swamp. So a nice little buff for our massive little army. And whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 human warrior creature token. That's pretty good, you know, getting a little human every time you play a land, play a bounce land, fetch lands, things like that, and churn out a ton of tokens. Then a brand new card here in Visions of Glory. 5 mana, sorcery. Create a 1/1 white human creature token for each creature you control. So that is a good effect. Yes, you have to have a board state for this to do anything, but not too hard in this token sort of like small creature-based strategy. Then you can flash it back for 10 mana. Although this spell costs X less to cast this way, where X is the greatest mana value of commanders you own on the battlefield or in the command zone. It's 2, so it will cost you 8 mana to flash it back. But it's a great effect, you know, we're not getting the full value out of the flashback thing, you know, our commander doesn't cost 8 or anything ridiculous like that, but we're going to get a ton of human tokens that then tap for mana. So getting up to 10 mana isn't that bad from all of the humans we'll have on the field. Then, Increasing Devotion, speaking of getting humans onto the field, 5 mana for a sorcery, create 5 1/1 white human creature tokens. If the spell was cast from a graveyard, create 10 of those tokens instead. So, yes, it costs you 9 mana to flash it back, but you get 10 tokens that can tap for mana. So, essentially, you're doubling your mana. Oh, God. Then there's Thraben Doomsayer, a great little token maker. And the last ability, it could come in useful. 3 mana for a 2/2 human cleric, so it taps for mana itself, or you can tap it to create a 1/1 white human creature token. And then Fateful Hour, as long as you have 5 or less life, other creatures you control get +2/+2. That could be a key thing in this deck. You know, you could get down there, you know, you're on 4 life, you know, your opponents are like, oh, let's get him. You play this, everything's massive, you swing in for lethal damage. So this card could get it all done. And finally, we got Sagada Heron's Grace. 5 mana, 4/5 with flying. You and humans you control have hexproof, which is a nice bit of protection. Pay 2, exile a card from your graveyard. Put a 1/1 white human soldier creature token into the battlefield. So a nice use of all the mana we're going to be generating from all the humans, and then we're getting humans to make the mana to invest in this, to make more humans, and then you get where I'm going. It just spirals out of control. As long as you've got a graveyard, that is. But that brings me on to number 3, and these are all cards that use the 1/1 counters our commander's going to be spreading around. Because it's not just humans that get the counters, it's every creature we have. And Shinewend, I think that's how you pronounce it, is a 2 mana 0/0 with flying. When it comes into play, put a 1/1 counter on it. Pay 2 and remove a 1/1 counter from Shinewend. Destroy target enchantment. So with our commander, we can keep putting the counters on this, keep removing them, destroying other things. Just control the board of, enchantments forever and ever. And look at that artwork. It's gorgeous. It just looks so beautiful. It's like a mature version of My Little Pony, isn't it? It's really, really artistic and nice, but that's playful and fun. And then another great card in this sort of cycle of that is Fertilid. 3 mana for a 0/0. It enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it. Pay 2, remove a 1/1 counter from Fertilid. Target player searches their library for a basic land card, puts it on his battlefield tapped, then shuffles their library. So if we keep spreading those 1/1s out, keep getting 1/1s on this, we can keep getting lands, and then we can use our commander more. It's just going to spiral and spiral and spiral. Then we've got Trilobite. Double X and 0/0. It's a trilobite. I think that's some kind of insect thing that lives in water. I don't know. It's like the sea monkey. Is it a sea monkey? Who really knows? Then it enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. Remove a 1/1 counter from it. Add double colorless. Spend this mana on to activate abilities. Then you can pay a generic and tap it. Put a 1/1 counter on Cryptic Trilobite. So this is good because our commander's ability does cost 6 mana. We get the 1/1 counter on it. So essentially our commander's ability will only cost 4 mana as long as this is on the field. It just helps grease the engine of the deck. Then another version of the Shinewend, which is actually infinitely better because it's a turtle. Steelbane Hydra, double green and X for 0/0. Enter the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. Pay 3, remove a 1/1 counter from it. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. So this can just control the board completely. Absolutely decimate your opponents, mana rocks, things like that. And it sits on the field. As long as you're leaving mana open, your opponents can't play their enchantments or artifacts. Because if they do, well, I'll just destroy it by just removing 1 counter. Amazing card for the deck. Then let's have some, spike action, shall we? Sounds a bit weird. But Spike Weaver is incredibly good. 4 mana 0/0 and comes into play with 3 1/1 counters on it. Pay 2, remove a 1/1 counter from it. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So you move it about. Maybe you can get in there with your commander for lethal damage, move a couple of counters over. And then the real reason I want to play this, pay 1, remove a 1/1 counter from it. Creatures deal no combat damage this turn. That's a fog every single turn just for 1 mana and removing a counter. And a commander can put more counters on it. Maybe you can use it to do a couple of different things to put counters on it as well. Then the Spike Breeder. Weird. 4 mana for a 0/0. Comes in with 3. Remove a 1/1 counter, move a counter. Pay 2, remove a 1/1 counter from it. Create a 1/1 green spike creature token. So yes, this won't be able to tap for mana, but it spreads out our board to put more counters on things. And then we got Spike Rogue. 3 mana for a 0/0. It comes in with 2. Pay 2, remove 1, move a counter. Pay 2, remove a 1/1 counter from any creature you control. Put a 1/1 counter on Spike Rogue, so you can suck up all the counters onto this and then distribute them however you want. It's a cool little subset of cards for the deck. Which brings me on to number 2. And at number 2, we've got ways to untap creatures because our creatures are going to be tapping for mana. Our commander's going to be tapping to put counters on things. Cards like this, like Benefactor's Draft, are amazing. 2 mana for instant. Untap all creatures. Yes, it includes our opponents. Until end of turn, whenever a creature an opponent controls blocks, draw a card. And just draw a card straight away. So this is amazing because we can tap out on our turn, leave 2 mana up. Boom. Untap everything. We can then block. Or if people are attacking into our opponent for lethal damage, we can untap all their creatures. Draw a ton of cards when they block. This card has so much versatility. Unfortunately, you can't get it in foil though, so garbage. But a great card for the deck, and it isn't a human sadly, is Copperhorn Scout. 1 green for a 1/1. Whenever it attacks, untap each other creature you control. This is phenomenal. You can tap everything pre-combat to, get out a big spell, then attack with this, untap everything, have another extra main phase. Amazing. Then if we're doing all this untapping and tapping, God-Favored General is brilliant, and it's a human as well. 2 mana for a 1/1 with Inspired. Whenever it becomes untapped, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, put 2 1/1 White Soldier enchantment creature tokens onto the battlefield. Sadly, those tokens aren't humans. If they were, this would be a home run of a card for the deck, but it's just sort of a niche little thing that fits in well. And it is a human itself, so you don't have to attack to get this tapped. You can just tap it for mana, and then when it untaps, use the mana to pay that. Then there's Curse of Bounty. 2 mana for an Aura Curse. Enchant player, whenever enchanted player is attacked, untap all non-land permanents you control. Each opponent attacking that player untaps all non-land permanents he or she controls as well. So this puts a nice little bounty on someone because, everyone's going to get an advantage from it, but you're going to get more of an advantage from it. And it also works. You can play it on someone and attack them straight away, untap everything. It's a great, great card. And that brings me on to my number 1 selection. And because we've got all the 1/1 counters on things, using them in different ways and, making sure we get a bit of value out of that is imperative. So, Basri's Lieutenant is a phenomenal card. 4 mana for a human knight with vigilance and protection from multicolor. And guess what? A lot of commanders are multicolored. So this can just block commanders all day and night. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on tag creature you control, so it can put it on itself. So straight away we've started the 1/1 counter chain. And whenever it or another creature you control dies, if it had a 1/1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. So even board wipes are not going to really hurt us that much because we can just, just carry on because we've got a ton of knights. Sadly, the knights aren't humans, but, there's a couple of ways you can manipulate creature types to make them into humans. But overall, an amazing card for the deck. And it's a human, so you could possibly tap this for mana as well. Then, Abzan Falconer, a great card with 1/1 sort of strategies. 3 mana, Human Soldier, so again, you can tap mana, or you can pay 1 to outlast it and tap it. Put a 1/1 counter on this creature, outlast only as a sorcery. So you can build it up, and each creature controlled with a 1/1 counter on it has flying, and that will just end games. In limited and, sealed and stuff like that, flying is phenomenal. And Hidden Commander, it's no exception as well. It's going to win games. Then, occasionally, we get hit. But we can gain that life back with Abzan Battle Priest. 4 mana 3/2 with Outlast for 1. Each creature controlled with a 1/1 counter on it has lifelink, so we're going to just suck up a bunch of life. Because Ruthless Stalker is a 4 mana 3/3. It partners, but it doesn't matter. It's a human, so it can tap for mana. Whenever a creature controlled deals combat damage to player, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. So another just great way of getting counters onto things. And with the sort of evasion from Abzan Falconer, this is going to put a ton of counters on every one of our creatures. Then I talked about some spikes. Here's another one, and possibly the best. Spike Feeder, 3 mana 0/0, comes in with 2 counters. Remove a 1/1 counter from it, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Then remove a 1/1 counter from it, don't pay any mana, you gain 2 life. That seems okay, being able to gain 2 life every now and again. However, if you've got Archangel of Thune on the field, which is a 5 mana 3/4 flying lifelinker, whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So, let's go back a stage. Spike Feeder, you remove the counter to gain 2 life. You gain 2 life, well, we'll put a counter on everything, including Spike Feeder. And then you just keep going and going and going and just gaining tons of life. Our army becomes exponentially larger. And finally, another great card with counters, Micaeus the Lunac. He's a lunatic. 1 white and X for 0/0. Ends the battlefield with X 1/1 counter on it. So a nice Hydra. And then you can put a 1/1 counter on it by tapping it, or tap and remove a 1/1 counter. Put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control. So just spread the love. Make everything absolutely massive. Brilliant card. And with all the sort of untapped shenanigans we've got going on, this can make an army massive very, very quickly. And those are my top 5 cards for this new commander. Matilda. No, Katilda. That's the one. Matilda, great film. Really recommend it. The Trunchable terrifies me to this day. She'd easily best me in a fight. So, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please do like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.